There's this story I heard. A farmer discovers that his goose lays golden egg every day. So he becomes greedy and impatient, wanting more gold at once. So what does he do? He kills the goose to get all the eggs inside, only to realize they are not. Now, the kind farmer doesn't have goods. So he doesn't have goose and he doesn't have the golden eggs. So now, the lesson of this story is the lesson Stephen Covey gave with this story is production and production capability, right? In this case, the production is the golden eggs. The golden eggs are just your results, your achievements, your wealth, success, and the rest. While production capability is so the production is your golden eggs, and your golden eggs are your results, your achievement, and your wealth. While the production capability is your ability to produce those results, right? So like if you focus on only your production, if you focus on only your results, if you focus on only your wealth, your everything, right? And you begin to neglect your production capability, you begin to neglect the ability you have to produce, you burn out and you'll not be able to produce again. But if you continue to focus on your production capability, you're not going to be able to produce anything. So it has to be this 50-50 system of working, right? Okay, let me tell you this thing that I normally see when I used to go for choir practice now. The production is the melodious and the harmonious music, right? And the production capability now is the people that are singing not being hungry, or mosquito not disturbing them, or the choir master not shouting at them. Because I used to always notice this thing now. The more they keep on shouting at us during choir practice, the poorer we sing. Because you want production, right? You want a melodious but and a harmonious music, but you don't want to balance it with production capability. Like like, it doesn't actually make sense if you look at it, right? You want them to produce harmonious and melodious music, right? But then you're not also looking at the production capability, and then you're now like, since you are not getting it, you are going to spend more time, and the more time we spend, the more hungry and tired people get. So production capability keeps going down, production will keep going down. So you're seeing my whole point, right? Production capability has to be high for production to be high. These two things are directly proportionate. One can be up and the other down, one can be down and the other up. They have to be directly proportionate, right? So in life, in everything you are doing, both relationships, business, health, skill, whatever, make sure your production make sure your production capability matches with your production. What are you trying to produce? What type of results do you want? Right? You have to get them first, and then you have to also get your production. If you want wealth as your production, that is your golden eggs. Of course, now you're now the goose, right? So what are you going to do? You're going to learn skills, you're going to change mindsets, you're going to you're going to keep on working on yourself, because that's now your production capability in order to get that production, right? So you can't expect, so if your production is low, just turn your head to the left a little and look at your production capability. You understand? Just work on your production capability if you want your production to be high, right? Sometimes it's not necessarily about cracking your head and thinking, and just if your production is low, you're not doing well in so and something, you're not performing well, all this thing, just look at your production capability, right? Your production capability, if it's low, you know that, yeah, we have to work here in order for this one to balance. You know, so you just need to learn to balance the whole thing, right?
Yeah, Joe has like basically said it, but just want to emphasize on Stephen Covey as a person. Stephen Covey talked about the 7 habits of highly effective people. His book centered on 7 habits of highly effective people. And in this book, he gave an illustration about a farmer, right? The farmer had a goose that laid golden eggs. The farmer saw that the goose laid golden eggs and was collecting the golden eggs. He was becoming rich, but his greed for more golden eggs led to the to the to the to the death of the chicken. Led to him killing the chicken, and then he later found out that he had no more golden eggs and no more goose to produce that golden egg. What is this teaching us? It's telling us about now the goose. The goose and first of all, you all know what metaphor is. The goose and the golden eggs, they are a metaphor, right? The key concepts from this lesson is refers to the desired results like output, performance, profit, or success. That is the production. The golden eggs. The golden eggs refer to production. Examples like what we see as production is making money, hitting sales targets, harvesting crops, like having a prosperous relationship, being successful in our endeavors, meeting up to tasks, meeting up to whatever. That is production, right? Then production capacity. That is in this story the goose. The goose is the production capacity. Now this refers to the ability or means to produce these results. These are the means to producing these products or production. Like your health, relationships, tools, systems, skills, employees, workers. Like these are the various skills. Entrepreneurs, these are the various production capacity. That is yourself. Now, Stevie Covey talks about balance, right? Balance. One thing that you guys need to understand about balance is having the right balance, being able to understand when you need to have high maintenance of a production capacity and also be up to date with production. Like your production capacity has to equal your production. Everything has to be balanced. You cannot be feeding one and the other is dying, like redundant. Your production, you cannot be wanting more production and then killing your production capacity. Right? You know that your machinery can only go as far as producing 10,000 products, but you want it to produce 11, so you are making it to work more, which will reduce the estimated period of time it's meant to be in process. Right? So you have to learn to balance it. You have to learn to know when to have high maintenance of that production. You have to cater for that your production capacity and be able to be up to date with the production. At the same time, like I said, you should not kill the machinery. At the same time, something that's supposed to be producing 11,000 products, because of you are highly maintaining it, you don't want it to spoil easily. So you start to produce lesser. So you are basically having a hindrance to the amount of goods it can produce. That is what's feeding the other and leaving the other to starve. You understand? That is feeding one and starving the other. So people should learn how to keep this balance, right? You should learn how to maintain their production capacity and learn how to and then learn how to be able to maximize product. See, one thing you should understand is learning how to maintain the production capacity and still be able to maximize products or profits and maximize production. See, in this life, there are a lot of things that we want to do. Right, there's a lot of things that we want to ascertain, a lot of aims and objectives in our lives that we want to obtain, right? But we don't see ourselves wanting to put in the effort, the work. We don't see ourselves wanting to push to that limit to attain those success. Because the bigger the risk, let me tell you, the bigger the risk. Because let me tell you, something about you wanting to become a billionaire is a high risk. So because of it involves high risk, because it's a high reward mistake. So because of it involves a high reward, it should involve a high risk. People want this only want just want to attain the high rewards, don't want to be able to take the high risk. Right? People want to take the high reward and not take the high risk. You have to be if you have to be equal. You can't say you want to do low risk and be able to make high profitable profits, guy. It's really not done. It's abnormal. Yes, you can come up with the 20% to make what's it called 80% gain. That's what's it called low. But like let's be honest with ourselves. It has to be equal. The amount of work you put in has to be equal. You have to be able to maximize it to the fullest. Right? And when you are taking high risk, you have to be able to maximize that profit. Right? So now, production. These are all these various objectives that people in their lives have. Those objectives that you know you have in your life, be it to pass your exams, be it to have a successful brand, be it to have a successful company, be it to be a successful lawyer, be it to be a successful whatever it is that you want to be successful in, be it having a good relationship, be it whatever. You have an objective, you have an aim. You have something that you're looking forward to. You have a reward that you want to obtain. Are you ready to maximize? Are you ready to maintain a very good production capacity, or make use of that production capacity to maximize and attain that reward? Are you ready for that? Or are you that person that is so-called maintaining production capacity, but yet is not producing enough profits? Wherever you find yourself, know that you are feeding one and starving the other. You have to find the balance. Stephen Covey said, "It's life. The truth about it is balance. The balance is called the P/PC balance, right? Production, production capacity balance. You have to find that balance, right? So the things that you need to know in basically obtaining trying to obtain your rewards, trying to obtain your goals that you've set for yourself. You have to be willing to take in, you have to be willing to put in the work. That is your production capacity. You have to be willing to stretch yourself to your fullest, but at the same time you don't overstretch yourself so that you will not wear off. Right? You have to be willing to stretch yourself so you will not wear off. Remember, maximize your products by highly maintaining your production capacity. Maximize your production by highly maintaining your production capacity. If you're not having a good maintenance of your production capacity, you cannot attain or you cannot produce a good and reasonable production. You cannot have high reward when your risk is not high. It has to be equal. You have to find the balance. And for you to be finding the balance, you have to be ready to produce, and you have to be ready to be producing. You have to be ready to take the work to produce, and you have to produce. Like, these are the things that you need to set. Like, it's not just about being ready to, it's not just about trying to produce, but at the same time be producing. It's not all about the process. We also want to see the results. Let us see the results. Right? It's not only about producing. Production without any production process without any production is a waste production. It's a wasteful production process. You see how production and production capacity goes in hand. Production process or production is not anything without production process, At the same time, production process without any production is a waste of production process. It's a waste of time and effort. So they have to go in hand. One can't do without the other. And the first stage to knowing that one can't do without the other, one thing is to know that one can't do without the other. The other is to actually make use of these two in the best way possible. That book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, is a very, very good book. It talks about a lot of things, but we just decided to single out these various topics. It's a very small topic, but it actually encompasses a lot about life. Be it a financial aspect of life, the social aspect of life, the spiritual aspect of life, whatever aspect of life, it encompasses it. If you make use of it in this your various aspects of your life, you would see yourself producing outputs that are, even to you at this particular time, would be something of a dream. Putting just this ideology, production capacity, the balance, putting this ideology, putting this concept into these various aspects of your life, you will see yourself doing things that you yourself did not really see as possible in this moment, or you felt like it was a dream. You will see yourself producing those outputs. So I would like to leave you with this, because these are very important concepts that you need to take in. You need to take them in as you listen to this podcast. We try to produce very, very good, insightful things, and most of these things are actually just based from books, like very, very good books. We recommend this book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Very, very good book by Stephen Covey. Right? So many lessons to learn from it, but we just decided to single out these ones. And subsequent times, we might talk about other topics that you could learn from these 7 highly effective people. Right? So, please and please, these two work hand in hand. You just have to find balance. That is the most important thing. Finding the balance. Yeah.
Okay, so I believe Tony has said it all. Just find balance. You can't aim without having the tools to get to that aim. And you can't have the tools to get somewhere without actually going there. It's just balance, fam. You get it? That's the whole thing. Understand? So we hope you really enjoyed this episode. We will see you again on episode 15. Have a wonderful day.